Yo, what is going down?
Almost on time.
Almost on time. What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Fat Samurai Guy, back again with another live stream movie recap episode with Lady Fab Blood. And Gravy, the cat is on the loose.
Charge your lap.
So if Samurai Guy randomly screams high pitch, that means I'm getting fucked up below the waist. What is going on? What is going on a Saturday night? Thank all of you badasses for hanging out with us today. We're going to be talking movies tonight. We're going to have some fun. We're going to agree to disagree on some things, but we're still going to have some fun tonight. Let's do the roll call. Who we got up in the house here? Who's up in the house? Nigel, what's going on? Heather's in the house. We got Lataro in the house. Severio, what is going on? We got what is that? Ad Lizzle, what's going on? We got all these badasses here. Steve-O, Lady Danish.
My.
That's right. Miguelon, that's right. Sexasumo, Eric, Jonathan, Justin. What's going on? Gilbert Berger in the house, in the Heezy. Cameron, that's right. We got Kiowa in the house. You say what's going on? We got Zuko, Fred. Oh, yeah. A whole bunch of badasses are here to hang out with us. Appreciate it. Cheers. That's right. Samurai Guy's got the water. And Lady Fab Blood's got the caffeine. The caffeine.
I want to booze, but probably not a good idea for the type of video we're doing.
Actually, booze would have worked, but it's fine. It's fine. We didn't get a chance to get out.
Might have said some things I was going to regret. That still might happen, though.
That's still, what are you talking about? That's probably going to happen anyway, but it's all good. It's all good. What's going on, guys? Oh, shit. All right. So let's go ahead and have some fun. We're going to jump right into it. We're going to first talk about the black phone. That's right. And then after that, we are going to talk about...
Oh, boy.
It's begun. If it gets too crazy, we're going to have to put the kitten away. Thor, Love, and Blunder. Yes, we're going to get into that as well. So first up, let's get it started. Let's get into some horror state of mind. Let's talk about Black Phone. Hey, all right, we're back. And the little lovable, adorable terror is here. The hellion.
The Ginger Menace.
The Ginger Menace. Black Phone. All right, let's go ahead and have some fun and talk about this one. All right, let me get up here so we can get the images going here. All right. Jump right into the plot synopsis. Not looking too good for this town. We're going to have a lot of missing children are gone. And a slow, small legend, because of all the missing kids, has begun. It's almost Candyman-esque with the kids in the town, because they're all like, don't say his name 3 times, the grabber, all that kind of stuff. And so you have like this kind of small legend being created around the town. A guy with a whole bunch of black balloons. Shit.
Yep,
he's got to go.
There you go.
He's got to go.
It's already started.
Oh, my crotch. Oh, no, that was not good. And that was perfect timing. I had a picture up. See, this is what happened. This is what happened when you guys come here live. You don't know what's going to happen? Oh, I got to stretch it out. Hold on. Woo. Oh man, that was hilarious. Oh, that might go on best of the year clip right there. Oh, my nuts. Oh shit. Ooh, stretch it out. Oh, stretch it out now. All right. Woo. All right, let's keep going.
I'll apply first aid later.
Yes, I appreciate that. Oh my god. Oh, we got a super chat up in here. Gilbert, what's going on? He goes, a little number to match the movie genre and to appreciate the cat gods so your fur baby behaves. Yeah, well,
it's gonna be a couple months before he starts behaving.
Yeah.
He's only 3 months old, and he's just a spitfire.
Yeah.
He will not stop.
Appreciate. Oh God, now he's. Oh, this is such a professional stream we got going right now. Oh my goodness, great is the Danny Bonaducci of kitties.
Well,
oh my goodness. All right, let's keep on going.
He is a ginger.
If he keeps meowing like crazy, we might have to give him some food. More food.
He just ate, and I just had to give him some food.
All right, here we go. There you go. Protect your scrotum at all times. All right, here we go. Back to the review of the movie. Yeah, so you have the small little legend going around amongst the kids at school. You know, watch out for the guy with the balloons, the top hat. Especially the black mysterious van. But yeah, the movie was directed by I think it's Scott. I forgot his name, but
this is a lot just happened to
you. Yeah,
right now, so
I'm still in recovery mode right now
with
my crotch. All right, but he directed Sinister, which I really liked, but something for me felt flat with the finale. And I don't know what happened there. I'd have to revisit Sinister and find out what happened. Bagul is still one of the most ridiculously funny names for an evil entity, and I can't stop saying Bagul now. But yeah, Sinister was solid. He actually directed the original Doctor Strange, which you guys know I enjoyed that, and I believe he was the one that was supposed to direct the sequel, but he got replaced by Sam Raimi. You know, for better or for worse for some of you out there. But this was a hit. This is a critically acclaimed movie, The Black Phone. It did well in theater. It was a big hit. So he kind of got his take that Marvel for fucking me over revenge in a way. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about it. I'm going to segue to you now. Boom.
Well, what do you want me to start off with? Exactly.
Well, I like the relationship between the brother and sister.
And that ended up being the primary focus of the film. So if you went in, just in case you hadn't seen the film, we're gonna do.
Yeah, this is a spoilers stream, guys.
So if you went in wanting to see Ethan Hawke, first of all, the good news, you will see him redeem that poor excuse of a performance he had to sleepwalk through in Moon Knight.
Maybe it's not his fault.
It wasn't his fault.
It's not his fault.
I mean, when you got nothing to work with, what are you going to do? So the good news is he does show up and he does perform the hell out of what he's given. Yeah. Now, the bad news is you're not going to see as much as the trailer kind of led you to believe.
Right. And that's
kind of the bummer of the piece. What they did focus on was the siblings. It's a brother and a sister. Oh, this is set in the late 70s, by the way.
Yeah, I like
which
that.
Which is nice.
I like that.
I've stated before in the past, I'm kind of tired of the 80s. I'm burned out of the 80s.
How dare you?
The nostalgia.
No, I know what you mean.
The retro stuff. I'm kind of done with it. And so, to kind of have like a, 10 years prior to the, 80s, I think it was like 78, I believe it was set in. It was nice. They did their research, lots of browns, lots of plaids.
Yeah.
Everything's very ugly.
Yeah.
And so these two siblings, they have this drunken, very abusive father.
Yeah.
And they more focus on their home life, their relationship, why they are the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
And, for two kid actors that I personally haven't seen before, they're pretty damn good.
Yeah.
There's a scene, for all the other punches that the movie pulls, which we'll get into,
mm-hmm.
there was a scene where we straight up see a little girl take a belt from her dad, her drunken dad, and she's bringing it. She's crying.
Yeah, great performances from her and the father, everyone.
Yeah,
in that scene. That was like, whoa.
The dad's yelling at her and she
mm-hmm.
starts crying and yelling back at him. I mean, it was a really good scene. And I was kind of like, hey, okay, I can get behind this.
Mm-hmm.
So it does focus more on them, which
Right.
I did like.
Yeah, because they're likable characters now.
Yeah. And it you know,
Yeah.
depending on what you want, that's what
Right.
you get.
Right. But going back to the siblings here, yeah, sister was great. I love how she had balls, and like I like that scene where her brother was getting bullied, and she grabs a rock, fucks that other kid up. That was great, But yeah, they're both likable, which helps. If they were both little shits that we couldn't stand, then we would be rooting.
Psycho Gorman. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh God. Oh, a little bit of shit got stuck in my throat there.
Psycho Gorman.
I'm sorry.
We would be rooting for Hawk to kill them. But no, they're both very likable. And going back to that scene where the father abuse, he's going through a lot of stuff because he lost his wife. Their mother had a special gift. She was able to see visions and predict things, and she ended up taking her own life, which affected him deeply. Which, as you see in the movie, you can tell he's like really just done. He's shut off from the world. All he does is drink, and sometimes he's good to his kids, but sometimes he's a horrible father.
Yeah, he is pretty shitty.
Yeah, but the gift, the gift, similar gift has been passed down to the daughter, and the daughter is having dreams of a man, with a top hat, the black balloons, the black van.
Essentially, anytime a child gets kidnapped, and
Right.
she kind of has these dreams about it.
Right.
And what I found really interesting in this film, the movie does present itself as a serious story in that respect, in that you do have a guy in a mask and a top hat with balloons going around kidnapping and killing children.
Right.
But you do have to suspend your brain a little bit, because you do have a little girl running around with psychic visions, and they're actually 100% correct. And she's at one point it does get supernatural. So
yes,
it's not a straight
it's
up.
It's a paranormal horror.
Yeah, it's
flick.
not a straight up
thriller.
Yeah,
it's a paranormal horror movie.
And something I also found very hilarious, which you didn't get any of this in the 80s, was that when the girl goes to the authorities, because the authorities actually kind of seek her out first, because they hear that she's having dreams and all that, and that's what gets her into trouble with her dad at first.
Well, they heard she was talking about
she's talking about her dreams, and so they're like, well, what's going on, because we didn't release this information to the public. So they start talking to her, and that gets her in trouble with her dad, because her dad's like, you're not your mom. Your mom stuff which she saw wasn't real. And so, first she doesn't want to really say anything about, the dreams in front of the dad with the cops and everything, but eventually it starts happening more. And so the cops actually believe the little girl, and the cops are actually not ineffectual in that aspect. And you don't get Fred Krueger did it, and then the cops, brush off the little girl, and the cops are just completely useless in this film, which I thought that was a really interesting touch. Another unbelievable aspect that you kind of have to suspend your disbelief with in this movie.
Yeah, because the cops kind of believed her a little bit too easily, especially later in the movie, which we'll get to. But you can still have fun with the movie and enjoy it. So things don't go too well for the brother. He gets kidnapped by the Grabber. And I love how they didn't really show his face a lot in the movie. It was like briefly, If you notice, when he gets out of the van, he goes, hey, I'm a magician. You want to see a magic trick? If you watch the trailer, they show Ethan Hawke's face. But in the movie, they don't. It's filmed from behind. So they did a really good job with that. And you do get some very suspenseful, creepy moments. Him coming down there, giving him breakfast and stuff like that. But yeah, Hawk is a legend, and he's doing his thing. And again, the boy dealing with what the fuckery, like what the hell is going on. Pretty good performances from the boy as well. And then we get introduced. I think one of my favorite scenes in the movie was, with the creepy factor done well, was when one of the days the boy wakes up and he just sees Ethan Hawke sitting there like this, just sitting there next to the bed looking at him. And then he goes, what the hell are you doing? Like, what do you want? Or what the hell are you doing? And he goes, I just wanted to look at you. And then he walks out. That's how you do it. That's one of the best parts of the movie. I wish we did more of that. That's one of my complaints with the film. I understand what they're trying to do. They wanted to keep the grabber less on screen, so that way when he shows up, it's scarier. It's a big deal. But I still think they could have shown more Ethan Hawke in a few more extra scenes. But we're going to get to my disappointment a little bit later, even though we did enjoy the film overall. But we're introduced to this extra element here. There's a phone in this room, and one of your a phone that is not plugged in, but it rings, and then that's where the supernatural elements get brought in. I think one of the things you had issues with was he could hear the phone, but he chose the grabber. The grabber can also hear the phone, but he chooses not to hear it. So why does he hear it?
That was that was something that
Are the ghosts trying to get a hold of him?
that was something that the
Revenge?
movie introduced. Okay, so you were just now talking about how the movie wanted to be more ambiguous with its
Right.
its villain or its
Mhm.
antagonist.
Yeah.
Which is perfectly fine. You had bare bone minimum Fred Krueger, bare bone minimum Jason Voorhees, bare bone minimum original Michael Myers back in the day, and it worked just fine. And then, we all know what happened with Michael Myers' backstory. That got convoluted and twisted and got to the point where he was in a fucking cult of Thorn, and blah blah blah, and what the fuck's going on anymore. And it ruined the mythos of the shape. And so if you want to introduce your antagonist and make him ambiguous, I have no problem with that.
No.
But then when you turn around and then you start introducing within your own self-contained movie these elements, like he was kind of hinting that there was kind of like this hint that maybe he had been abused and tortured as a kid, maybe, but
down in that same room,
maybe.
Yeah.
And then there was this thing that he had heard the phone, but he chose to ignore it. So, okay, well, why is that? If you want to keep him ambiguous, that's fine, but then don't introduce things like threads of things,
right,
just to turn around and then not really make it make too much sense,
Mhm.
But
yeah,
what are you gonna do? That is what it is. So some of it was kind of like, oh well, you kind of dangled that carrot there, and then you just didn't do anything with it.
Right.
And so you kind of leave me going, well, then why was this and why was that? And
it's always a very difficult thing to do when you're a script writer, because when you have this really cool, or this very interesting killer, slasher, or whatnot, do you reveal the past? Do you reveal everything, making it go, oh, like, for example, here's a good example. The original Halloween, I love the fact that he's evil. He just killed his sister, and that's it. I love that. I love how they didn't explain, unless, if you want to. The Rob Zombie remake had its moments, which were interesting, the direction he was going, but I prefer not to know. I like the fact that, because the parents are going crazy. No one knows why. And that's when Donald Pleasance is like, he's just evil. You know what I mean? I love that. That makes Myers really scary. But then you have a movie, Silent Night, Deadly Night, right? Which basically, the original, which basically leading up to before he started slashing people, it makes totally sense why he's batshit insane, because all the stuff he went through leading up to that. So it works. It's just difficult to do because sometimes revealing too much ruins it, and sometimes not revealing too much can ruin it for the viewer.
Well, in this case, they revealed a little, but not enough to make it make any sense. But then why did you reveal it in the first place? That was my thing. But
it's an interesting point.
Just
interesting point. But I again, back to when Hawke was on screen, when he was actually there. He was very, his acting performance was great. I enjoyed all the different masks, which were made by Tom Savini. I'm not sure if anyone else helped to make the mask, but I know Tom Savini's name showed up in the credits. I think this is my favorite mask here. But I enjoyed Hawke because the grabbers, the Hawke's performance, because he had these moments where you're like, oh shit, it's not going to look well. And then the very next day, or later in the same day, you have these little small vulnerable performances. Would you like a soda?
I'm giving you puppy dog eyes.
I'm gonna leave the door cracked a little. I'm not gonna close it all the way, so just so that way, you're curious, you'll come up and try to escape.
Mm.
And this was waiting for
Yeah.
so a straight up beat down was waiting for whoever would try to escape. So Hawk was phenomenal.
So the phone element,
Hmm.
essentially what happens is the victims that the grabber has killed
Hmm.
all start contacting the boy. And essentially all of them have been in different stages of trying to escape.
Right.
And that was an interesting element
Yes.
because it
Yes.
all came to play later
Hmm.
in some way, shape, or form. Where this one was like, don't go up the stairs. He left the door open for you. It's a trap.
Right.
And sure enough, you got he cracks open the door and he doesn't go up because he just got the phone call, and the camera goes up and then you see the shot where
Yeah.
he's
He's
waiting
sitting
for him
there
to
waiting for him.
beat the
Yeah.
shit out of him.
Yeah.
And then you got the other one that's like, there's this loose tile on the floor. I tried to dig, but I didn't get far enough. And there's the other one. Did you try, using the carpet to get up to the window to break
Hmm.
free? And it was interesting how the victims
Right.
were essentially trying to help him, and how that ended up coming to play later on.
Hmm.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, even though this was a 70s film, it did kind of remind me of a twisted, not Goonies-esque, but like if the ghosts got together and were like, hey, let's plot our revenge,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it was strange in that way.
Yeah.
Um
Now I have to hold your
yeah.
thought. Now I have to talk about this, because those of you that have been watching the channel, you remember when I saw this scene in the trailer, I said, "What the fuck is this?" I was like, "Oh, you ruined it." I was like, "Why do we have?" Which I thought at the time was a little girl. Why do we have a child teaching another child martial arts? This does not look right. It didn't look right, and he's a ghost. It just looked really silly.
Mm.
But when I watched the behind the scenes featurette, I got more excited, especially finding out that the movie is going to be rated R. I was like, all right, you know what? The trailer, that scene in the trailers, I'm taking it out of context. Let me watch the movie and see how that scene plays out. And I'm here to say I'm perfectly fine with this scene. Okay.
Yeah.
However, I kind of wanted it not to work. I kind of wanted it not to work.
Wow.
Later in the movie when he fights Hawk, I kind of wanted him to go do the shuffle forward, do the shuffle back, do the shuffle forward, and then he gets the slap. That's what I'm gonna be honest. I mean, just to kind of get some suspense. You don't want everything to work out perfectly, right? I think that would have been hilarious, but that's just Samurai Guy. I have such a dark sense of humor. It's fun.
Well.
All right. Oh, but yeah, you're correct. It was interesting, especially some of the kid ghost, telling him the code combination. He tried to sneak out. Again, the kid's performance was very, very well done, very good. My only nitpick is every time he ran away for his life, whether it's from the grabber or from bullies, he looks like he's fucking laughing. Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, good performance through the whole movie, but every time he's running away for his life, looks like he's smiling, he's laughing. He's about to get hit with some water balloons. Okay, but I'm just goofing
He's
around.
so
here.
young.
I'm just
he
goofing
has time
around.
to fix
I'm
it.
just having fun. All right, let's keep talking about the movie. So, all right, so obviously trying to escape did not work out, and the sister gets some more visions. She tells the cops right away. The cops believe her right away. She tells the cops what house her brother is at, and we get our finale. She ends up showing up at the house, and the cops show up, and then we get to our finale. So before we get to our finale, I have to talk about my disappointment.
Mm.
Okay, so my disappointment is, and this is just me, everybody else seems to love the film, and they're giving it A+ and high scores, right? To me, everything's so well done. The direction, the lighting, the performances, everything I am enjoying. I like the story, but I feel like Blumhouse bitched out when this was announced that it was going to be rated R. I was like, get the fuck out of here. You're having a horror movie with a whole bunch of kids and it's rated R in a modern day, worldwide, mainstream movie release. I was like, get the fuck out of here. You guys, what? You guys are gonna have the balls to show what I think you're gonna show. And they bitched out. And I was kind of disappointed that the movie was literally R-rated because of cursing.
And because there was kid on kid
Kid on
violence.
kid violence, parent on child violence.
Right. And
Um,
the all of the essentially all of the deaths were after the fact.
yeah, there were after the fact deaths.
You do see the ghosts.
Like right here. Here's a good shot. So you can see that they
Right.
have been killed. But I really wanted to. I was entertained by the grabber, the performance of Hawk, but I wanted to hate him. And how do you do that? You got to show the grabber fuck up some kids, okay? I wanted to hate him.
And keep in mind, these aren't like, not to make one child death any easier to stomach than another child death.
No.
But these were like early preteens. These aren't like little 5-year-old, 6-year-olds.
Yeah.
These are Stranger Things season 4 kids.
Right.
You know, like Goonie, you know, Monster Squad age kids, where it's like,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
In the 80s would have done it. The 80s would have done it, is what I'm saying.
We just watched a movie called Humanoids from the Deep, which was a hilarious B movie, and we enjoyed it. It was one of the best creature feature B flicks we watched. Right in the beginning of the movie, kid gets pulled off a boat, blood everywhere, dead. That was in the beginning of the movie. Why? Because it's the fucking 80s, okay? Mm-hmm. They bitched out here, okay? Yeah. And I feel a little bit disappointed, and I'm willing to play their game. Okay, you don't want to get too graphic. You don't want to disturb the casuals that are in the audience, okay? But here's the thing. All you had to do, okay, is show brief, quick shots or flashbacks of Hawk. You don't even have to show Hawk stab and maim and cut and all that stuff, which I kind of would have been fine with that. But I want to hate the villain, right? I want to root for the kid, right? So anyway, all you had to do, I'm willing to play within your wheelhouse, Blumhouse. All you had to do, show a quick flashback of Ethan Hawke doing a swipe and the kid going like this, and you don't really see anything, but you see blood splatter on the wall. Okay, I'm willing to at least play that route. I would have been fine with that, but I just want to show this shot. There's advertisements going around, and this is what they showed. Okay? Bloodletting, you know, and this was like a poster they made, retro style. Bloodletting. I wanted to see some motherfucking bloodletting. Okay? I'm just saying, I was like, God damn it, they did bitch out. Oh, well. At least the movie's good to where I can forgive certain things. But I just wanted to let you guys know up front, if you're going in for this, okay, you might be disappointed because I believe on screen, you only have one kill. That the grabber does.
Yeah.
You see the grabber kill one person on screen. And that it was a fun kill.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that.
And it wasn't a kid.
See, they bitched out. Right, and then we're gonna get to the bullshit finale, which a lot of the audience loved. We kind of laughed
which
at.
they were doing well.
right. Here we go.
Very well.
So let's just jump right into the finale here. Okay, so the girl tells the cops it was Fred Krueger all along, and the cops are like, "Oh, we believe her. Let's go to the house and stop Fred Krueger." All right. So at this point, earlier, Hawk is like getting impatient because. The grabber's getting impatient because the boy is not playing the game like the other kids. And that kind of confused him, especially, he kind of showed some intelligence, the grabber. He's like, no. He's like, what's your name earlier in the movie? You know, and he tells him, and the boy tells him a different name. And he goes, really? He throws a newspaper down on him. And it shows in there that he, you know, the kid's missing and what his real name is. So at this point, the grabber is frustrated. He's frustrated. He's like, all right, fuck this. I'm gonna speed things up. But the grabber's brother lives upstairs and doesn't know it was his brother, right? Mm-hmm. His brother lives upstairs and he's just a cokehead, a conspiracy guy too, who has absolutely no idea. I don't know how he doesn't know this is going on, but he has no idea that in his own house below, all these kids are getting kidnapped and killed and buried across the street in another house underneath. So he goes downstairs, finds the kid there. And of course,
because he puts everything together because he's a conspiracy.
He's a conspiracy guy, and Hawk's like, "Well, fuck this. Oh well." He comes down there, chops him in the head, which was a nice, fun, little juicy kill. It didn't meet my bloodletting requirements, but I'll take what I can get. But it was nice to see more of Hawk's face, and you see Hawk kind of open up, and he's like, you know what, fuck you, kid. I'm not gonna kill you easily like the other ones. I'm gonna enjoy this. So he brings the dog down there.
Well, I think one of my favorite lines that Hawk.
Oh yeah.
His brother. He was an idiot, but he was my idiot.
That's the best line in the movie. He was an idiot, but he was my idiot when he was talking about his brother. It was fucking hilarious. So he brings the dog down there. The dog's still chained up. And then now we have our finale conclusion here.
So
go ahead.
The little girl, she's being led by the ghost to what they think is the house where the boy is at. And so she's taking the police to what they think the house that the boy is at.
Right.
And so the police would have gotten there in time, except surprise, surprise, oopsie daisy. They were actually being led to the house where the bodies were buried. So the police walk into this house and it's completely empty. It's abandoned. It's tattered. Now, keep in mind, the police have already been to the brother's house questioning the brother, but that didn't go anywhere.
Right.
And so they walk into this house and they're like, shit, there's nothing here. And then they go downstairs and they're like, oh shit, this is where he's burying the bodies. So at least they've got the bodies at this point.
Right.
Now, meanwhile, across the street, all of the ghost schemes and plans and plottings have culminated in these little traps being set, and which is where we get our kind of throwdown.
Hawk falls down in the pit that the boy made. He fucks up his foot, so he can't really move. So Hawk is stuck.
So he's actually wounded, which makes sense why a little 12-year-old 13-year-old, however how old he is, would be able to, with his 5 minutes worth of martial arts training, be able to actually, he takes the receiver of the phone? He fills it with dirt. He fills the receiver of the phone with dirt so that it's heavy.
Right.
And so he uses a little front shuffle, punch. And so he's actually able to wail on Hawk, at least realistically, because he's in a hole, he's busted his ankle.
Can't move. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So but I'm enjoying all this. Up to this point, I'm like, all right. This is entertaining. Okay. But I kind of wanted to escalate a little bit more. But no, right after this, we got to give the theater, the people who being paid their hard-earned money.
We didn't set up the line.
Oh, I was going to talk about it right now.
Okay.
But so anyway, so he ends up strangling him with the phone cord, right?
Yeah.
I think it was the phone cord. He ends up strangling him, and he's on the other side. So he's like Hawk's head, the grabber's head's right here, and he's strangling Hawk like this. I didn't mind that, right? I didn't mind him strangling him to death or whatever, right? I didn't mind that, but we gotta give the theater a yay crowd pleaser moment.
So
go ahead.
At the very beginning of the film, when we're first introduced to the little boy, which I should have learned his name, but
it's fine.
I'm a professional movie reviewer, so I don't need to do shit like that.
You sound drunk.
It's the caffeine. No, so they're playing a baseball game, and the main protagonist is a pitcher. And he almost strikes out this victim, who ends up being the first victim that we see.
Right.
And but the last minute, he's about to strike him out. The last minute, he throws a pitch, and kid hits a home run, and he's like, fuck. So the kid runs around, wins the game.
Right.
Runs around, wins the game. And they're doing that bullshit thing that they make the kids do at the end, good game, when nobody really means it, I know from personal experience. And at the very end, main kid and first victim kid go, hey, good game. And he's like, hey, your arm is mint.
Yeah.
That's what he tells the main kid.
The kid,
he was a good pitcher and he almost had him. You almost had me. Your arm is mint.
Your arm is mint.
So
anybody got a mint?
All right. So the kid goes off, buggers off, and gets murdered. And so when the very first phone call that he gets is the kid, and that's how he knows that he's not. I was like, oh shit, I know who you are, because he's like, your arm is mint when he's talking on the phone. The ghost is telling him your arm is mint. He doesn't remember what his name is, because these ghosts always call in a state of remembering their deaths, remembering vague details, but they don't necessarily remember who they are anymore, because that's like the first thing that they forget when they die. They kind of forget their names. So that's how the little boy knows that, oh shit, I'm dealing with a real ghost, and I remember this kid. He disappeared, and oh shit, that's the kid that your arm is mint.
Yeah.
Your arm is mint.
Your arm is mint.
So.
All right. So here we go. So I was enjoying the leg break. I was enjoying the beat down. And then the kid does the little swivel and starts to choke him out with the phone cord. And then, because his arm is mint,
which the ghost reiterates.
Get it?
The ghost says it again.
Because his arm is mint, the little itty bitty little thing, the little itty bitty little itty bitty thing, completely Bruce Lee style breaks the grabber's neck. Okay? I'm talking the choke out. I think I could buy the choke out. But he just straight goes, wah! And just breaks the neck of the grabber. And I was like, bullshit. I don't care if it's an adrenaline rush. The adrenaline's kicking in. I was like, I don't know about that. All right. I liked it when he had his pen and he stabbed Hawk in the eye. Shake the motherfucker.
Which I thought that's what
little dudes can do some shanking.
I thought that's where they were going.
Yeah, shank.
He had this little spaceship pen.
Yeah.
And they kept zooming in on it.
Right.
And it seemed like that was going to come more into play later.
Yeah.
And it would have made more sense if he had kept using
Yeah,
that.
he got him in the eye. And then I was maybe like cut Hawk right here, the grabber right here, and slice it,
But
right?
I guess we couldn't handle a little kid
like
an adult.
Bloodletting.
Yeah.
But his arm is mint.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh well. I mean.
Anyway. Oh my goodness. So anyway, it's a crowd pleaser. The crowd liked it, which we'll get to in our next movie. It's a crowd pleaser, and the crowd liked it. We're going to get to that. So anyway, it's a nitpick. It does not ruin the movie for us. However, I didn't mind the grabber dying. I wanted a more brutal death for the grabber. I think he deserved it. However, I would have preferred a Summer of '84 ending. Those of you that have seen this movie, you know what I'm fucking talking about. Let me peek around the corner here so you can see my face. This ending, unfortunately, you left the room and you didn't finish the movie. This ending, this is how you end shit. This is the stuff where you're like, it's unsettling. Ooh, fuck. I would have preferred that. Give us a really gory, satisfying samurai guy style death for our villain, or you give us this. That's enough of my nitpicks. So let's go ahead and rate this movie. So overall, really enjoyed it. What are you giving? The Black Phone.
I was,
especially when you compare it to a lot of the mainstream horror movie releases out there. 70% of the time, fucking suck.
So I was not like here. Okay, so my perspective, not really was I super hyped about this. I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, Ethan Hawke doing a thing. Okay, cool. I wasn't like super stoked about it, so it's not like my expectations were super high, is what I'm saying. Right. Even hearing it was rated R, I'm like, whatever, we'll see.
I fell for it.
Yeah. Well, so when we finally went to see it, I do like how well made it is.
Yeah.
I do like that the kid acting is very good.
Not atrocious.
You don't. It's hard to get. You know.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting better these days, though. I've noticed it is getting a lot better these days.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up on 80s and 90s. Woof. Jesus.
Okay.
So the performances were all there.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of like so what we have is a scale here.
Okay.
You go into a rated R horror film, horror thriller, which you think you're getting a lot of horror, and you're like, oh, ooh, blood, guts, not necessarily guts, but you're like, ooh, let's get some carnage here.
Right.
You don't get the carnage.
One kill
to the head,
and
it was a nice kill.
Yeah,
but,
I enjoyed it.
Better, but it was still nice to have. It was like, oh, thank you.
And his arm is mint. You get that
right. So you got that. Goddamn arm, minty fresh. And so you got that. And so you don't get what you want on that end of things. But what do you do? What do you actually get? You get a well-made film representing the decade that it's set in very, very well. The plot's a little, okay. I can follow. I can dig it. Okay.
Interesting.
No worries.
Yeah.
With good performances.
Mm-hmm.
So it balances out
Mhm.
slightly.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh well, I didn't get this, but I got this, so everything's even keel. So I didn't love it,
Right.
but it was like I didn't hate it. I didn't hellfest it. I've seen other films that were equally as well made, but I
Mhm.
still didn't like them that
Mhm.
much.
Right. Right.
This is no Malignant, which we all know I fucking hated. And so, I would give it a solid B.
Yeah. Yeah. So remember, C is average on our channel. And yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you in all those aspects. And if you're curious about our Malignant review, our hilarious Malignant review,
Ugh.
even if you love the movie, watch it anyway. You're going to have a good time laughing hysterically.
Sumo.
But yeah, I'm going to give the Black Phone. Remember, C is average. I'm going to give the Black Phone a B.
Ah.
I think I agree with you. Everything balances out. Directing, cinematography, performances. They got the 70s right.
Yes.
They nailed the 70s right. And Hawk is the man when he's on screen. I think it deserves a B. I really do. And definitely go out and check it out, guys. If you're interested or curious, if anything we've said with the Black Phone, definitely go out and check it out. But just remember, Blumhouse, everybody in charge.
Oh,
what?
Something I forgot.
Okay.
There are jump scares. They're all used very well.
Yeah. This is not a Bagulathon.
Right.
This is not a jump scare-a-thon, which we appreciated. Just the noise, just to wake up the audience. So that's a good one. That's a good
jump
point.
Scare that is used in the film is used completely appropriately.
Yeah.
And it was like, nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So I'm going to end it with this right here. Well, not the stream, but I'm going to end our review of the Black Phone right here. Future horror filmmakers, if you're making a slasher that's rated R, you got to show a little bit more than just one kill. And in the words of Kung Fu Santa himself, Rick Myers,
show the fucking blood.
There you go. Perfect way to end the review of the Black Phone. But yeah, it was a good movie. Definitely go check it out. But we do have our nitpicks with it. All right, now it's time to piss everybody off.
Can you raise your glass?
Oh, are we cheersing to it?
We're giving a toast to the end of an era. Our time of enjoying Marvel films has officially come to an end. We are celebrating and mourning at the same time the fact that we have now become too old to enjoy the Marvel films, and Marvel films have now become too young for us to enjoy them.
Oh shit!
So
I didn't know where you were going with that.
So, if any of you saw our spoiler-free fresh out of the theater,
oh shit!
You know where I'm going with this. I'm not going to mince words. No, we're all gonna be adults here. And if you don't want to be an adult, that's fine. Have at me. Have at me. It's fine. I can take it. It's fine. I fucking hated this movie. Now, I've already said that, but okay, here's the thing.
We're talking Thor, Love, and Blunder now.
Now, here's the thing with this film.
All right.
The first 5 minutes or so are strictly devoted to Gore the God Butcher's backstory. And his backstory is very simple, very effective, and this should have been the foundation for one of the best, most compelling villains we have had in the Marvel Cinematic Universe since Thanos, in my humble opinion.
We haven't had one.
In my opinion, this should have been one of the best.
Yes.
He is this being. He's in the desert wasteland of his planet. He's got his dying daughter with him, and they're wandering through the desert. They've got no food. They've got no water. They're clearly in trouble. And he is praying to his God for help, for sustenance, not for him, but for his daughter. And he sees her. He's holding her. She's dying, and she basically dies in his arms. And you see him. He's buried his daughter. He's mourning her. He's crying over her. And I'm like, okay, I can dig this. This is we're doing great. This is a good start, guys.
Yeah.
And we then cut to him coming across the god that he was praying to, and it's suddenly a Technicolor unicorn vomit dream coat. And I'm like, okay, well, Thor Ragnarok started this. It would not make sense for the
Yeah.
look of this film to be any less gaudy and audacious than Thor Ragnarok. So
Right,
the
right.
look of the movie doesn't bother me.
Right.
I'm just going to put that out there. The look of the film and how it's like Thor Ragnarok times 100 doesn't bother me.
Okay.
So he comes across this god and he's like, I've been praying to you. My daughter has died. We've been praying to you. My people are all dead. I'm the last one, but we never lost faith in you. And the god essentially laughs his ass off at him and is like, bruh, I don't give a fuck about you. I don't give a fuck about the people. You can die for all I care. There's always going to be more worshipers for me. You don't matter in the slightest. I don't even know who you are, essentially. And you see Gore's face go from hopeful and full of faith to, oh my God, my whole life, my whole belief, everything I've ever thought of everything in my life has been a lie. And then the god, because I guess he's an omnipotent god, and he thinks, what is this mere mortal going to do? Says, hey, that thing that's calling to you right there, because this thing's been whispering in Gore's ear this whole time. That's what led him to the oasis where the god is. And he's like, that thing that called to you right there, yeah, that thing can kill me. I just slayed that necro sword right there. I just killed the thing that was holding on to that because that thing can kill me.
Yeah.
So, and it can kill gods. So, but it's mine now. So, but you go off and you do whatever you want. Ha ha, stupid mortal. Ha ha ha. And so what does the mortal do? Shank. You fucking idiot. You're taunting him.
Yeah.
He just told you everything horrible that has ever happened to him. He says, oh, by the way, that thing can kill me. And at this point, I knew we were in trouble.
Yeah.
Because first of all, the mounds of expository dialogue we were getting from the god alone, talking about, oh yeah, that guy that was wielding that thing could kill me, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa.
Your concerns were starting.
My concerns already. Okay. I went from solid foundation, solid story for a great villain to the pacing and the dialogue. What happened in a matter of like 2 minutes? What happened? I'm like, okay. But we gotta get this, it's a Marvel movie. We gotta get into it. We gotta get to know Gore and his story and everything. And so
hold on a second.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna comment with this comment here. We have Cuppy Malik in the house. What's going on, brother? So he says, so even both of you Marvel fans cannot stomach Thor 4. Who would have thought? Have you been watching our channel? We don't love everything Marvel.
Have you heard our reviews of the shitty MCU TV series on Disney Plus? They're all garbage.
Yeah, all of them. Yes. And if you're curious and if you haven't seen it, check out our review of Captain Marvel. All right. So anyway, let's go ahead. Keep going.
Anyway, so the credits start to roll. And I mean the main, the Marvel title sequence starts to roll after, Gore becomes because I forgot. So egregious. So he goes and stabs the god, and before he chops his head off, which is not as cool as it may sound, the god is literally looking at him because as he stabs him, the necro sword is like starting to go into his veins.
Yeah.
And the god literally looks at him and goes, "It's infecting you." And I'm like, oh no.
The audience is dumb.
I'm like, oh no, they're explaining it to me.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm 5 again. Oh Jesus, I can't glean information from visual stimulation. And Gore, of course, because Christian Bale, they're trying to give him some cool dialogue. He goes, funny, I don't feel infected. Shank, slice. So I'm like, okay, all right, I'm trying.
Yeah.
So then we get into probably what is the only fun part of the movie that I actually had real legitimate fun with, which was the Guardians of the Galaxy segment, which I also started noticing.
The beginning, I loved a lot. I was really enjoying. I had fun with the beginning. Hold your thought.
Yeah.
Hold your thought. I want to ask everybody right now in chat, let me know. And everybody that's watching after this is live, let me know in the comments. Now, I did not know with Gore the God Butcher, which is a fucking badass metal name. Unfortunately, the movie didn't live up to what I wanted to see from him. I thought Christian Bale's look was fucking metal.
Yes.
Okay, I loved his look, but keep that in mind. I did not know what the original character looks like, so I want to know. Okay, I'm curious. Let me know in chat or in the comments. would you have preferred if they kept it comic book accurate and kept it faithful? Would you have preferred this? So I heard a lot of defenses against this. They wanted to stay away from this because they thought he looked like Voldemort,
Mm.
and they didn't want another Voldemort.
Mm.
But yeah, I just want to show him right here really quickly.
I don't think the look was the problem.
No. I'm just talking about the aesthetic.
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know from you guys, because remember, I didn't know he looked like this.
Mm-hmm.
I liked his look in the movie, but
Mhm.
now that I see he looks like this, it's very interesting. You know what I'm saying?
No.
But yeah, let me know. This was just a side question to all the badasses watching right now. Okay, back to your the beginning.
Well, okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
So we start off with he who is better in small doses, Korg.
Yes.
Talking about Thor's backstory and where he's come and what he's doing and why he's with Guardians of the Galaxy, and they're showing all these adventures, like hinting at adventures and showing him in various stages that we haven't seen him in yet. And you get to the Guardians of the Galaxy actual segment where they're fighting on this planet.
Yeah.
And they're fighting these goofy looking aliens that reminded us both of the Wild Thing gang from Labyrinth.
Yeah.
And
I was enjoying those aliens. I like that design. That was fun.
That whole scene was pretty much it was a really fun opening.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. Korg had his little, was it monologue?
Yeah. He was
talking about Thor, the space Viking, going from dad bod to god bod,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool seeing Thor with the Guardians, and the beginning opening action sequence I thought was a lot of fun. I thought it was badass, especially with Welcome to the Jungle Plan. I enjoy that song. So I liked the opening. I thought we had promise, but go ahead.
Yeah. The only thing that I was starting to kind of find a little bit of issue with some of the humor, and all Marvel movies have had this. I've had this issue with Marvel movies. Not all of the humor is going to hit all of the time.
Right.
But I was noticing that almost every single line of dialogue was a joke. Like almost every single thing that was being said was in an attempt to get a laugh out of you. And when the more jokes you put in, the less likely you're going to get a laugh out of all of them, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was what I was noticing, was just like everything was so jokey and not everything was hitting for me. So I was like, well, I mean, okay, well, we'll see where this is going. There's a lot of visual stuff going on. So action wise, it was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. Well, it was like Thor Ragnarok had jokes, but there were scenes in between the jokes throughout the movie that kind of gave you time to breathe a little.
Yeah.
This movie, right? The jokes got turned up to 11. If the jokes were a 5 on Thor Ragnarok, the jokes in this were turned up to 11.
Right.
And it was getting on my fucking nerves.
For me personally, most of the jokes, I didn't find most of them funny.
Some of them were funny for me. But some of them I was like,
the jokes were coming. Some of the jokes.
That was my reaction inside. I was like, that was my reaction.
Some of the jokes that they kept doing over and over again because it was a running gag. Well, it was cute the first time, but a running gag has to be funny. It has to hit hard and it has to be hilarious.
Yeah, it's got to be funny
for it to be a successful running gag.
Right.
But when the joke is kind of mildly funny at the beginning, and then you keep doing it throughout the film, well, then it's just annoying.
Stop.
And so, anyway.
Speaking of,
hey,
if you get used to this sound, baby, because this is throughout the movie.
So the movie, Thor realizes that something is missing in his life.
Yeah.
They start talking about Jane some more and how, they separated. We see all of this activity that presumably would have happened between Thor: The Dark World and Avengers: Age of Ultron that we obviously never saw. And we see that they were in this relationship. Everything was great at first, but then they just had they had different priorities because they live very different lives. Obviously, Jane's this brilliant, scientist, astrophysicist, whatever the hell she is. She's like this brilliant such and such that has her own like obsessive, way about doing things and living her life, and everything that she does is important to her. And Thor obviously is an Avenger and he has to go off and save universes and worlds and people and blah, blah, blah. And they just could not come together. And obviously that just drove them apart and they split up. And so he starts thinking about her more, and he just starts thinking about how he's missing stuff in his life. And so he decides he's going to leave the Guardians of the Galaxy, and he ends up going back to Earth and to New Asgard, and we see where they're at, and it's fine. You know,
Yeah.
they're kind of like a tourist attraction now. King Valkyrie,
Yeah.
you know, it's modern, and she has to be a king. She has to be a king. She's doing Old Spice commercials because it's funny, and so
Speaking of funny, go ahead.
And so, you know, everything's going okay, and then we actually see where Jane is at. We find out Jane has an aggressive stage 4 cancer of some sort, and she's in chemo, and you can obviously tell that she doesn't give a shit about being on chemo. She wants to be doing something else because she's always on the go. She always wants to be doing something more important, and she just doesn't see this as a big deal, even though it's kind of like a, you know, not a denial necessarily, but kind of is like, I don't care because I got too many things to do before I die sort of situation. And so she ends up going back to her place after chemo, and suddenly she gets drawn to this Norse mythology book, and she sees that Mjolnir might have healing properties, sort of. And so she decides to go to New Asgard
because the scientific way has failed her at this point. So she's like desperate.
Right. And so she goes there. They're giving a tour. She's in this tour of seeing the shards of Mjolnir, and she stays behind, and all of a sudden the shards just form together, and boom, we got our not Lady Thor. If you can't call me Mighty Thor, then call me Dr. Jane Foster. Her words, not mine. And so it's like, okay, cool, whatever. So come to find out later on, now it kind of seems like maybe in the comic books it was her wanting to persevere that Mjolnir, because I think Thor lost his ability to wield the hammer. I remember reading something that his there was some comic book situation where he lost his ability and she gained the ability. She did have cancer, she was sick,
right,
and Mjolnir chose her for some reason. I don't know if it was because it deemed her worthy or whatever, but in this movie,
she was willing to she didn't care about her well-being.
Right.
She wasn't using Mjolnir to heal herself. Is what I kind of got. She was using it to help people despite her physical condition, which me, not familiar with the comic book or anything like that.
Yeah.
That sounds way more interesting than love.
Yeah. So in this movie,
love made it happen.
At one point in the flashback sequence, you see Thor whisper to Mjolnir, "Whatever happens to me, protect Jane Foster." And this new rune symbol appears on Mjolnir. And so I guess because Thor made a love wish, even though Mjolnir is now in shards, it has nothing to do with Jane. It has everything to do with Thor wanting to protect her because he loves her, because of love.
Yeah.
Because of love.
Because of love.
Mwah, mwah. Anyway, I'll never do that on camera again. And so I guess that's why it called to her, because it wanted to protect her. But here's the problem with that. Here's the problem with that.
Okay.
You just wrote yourself a lovely little plot hole. You said that Thor wants to protect her, and so he tells Mjolnir, "Whatever you do, protect her." Okay. But in the process of this version story, because this is not the comic book version story, in this story, Mjolnir, every time it transforms Jane into Thor, it cancels out all of the chemo that she's going through. And so all the treatment, even though she's in stage 4 and she's probably not going to make it anyway, all of the treatment that she's been pumping into her body has now been excised. And so every time she uses Mjolnir, she's getting weaker and weaker and weaker. So, Mjolnir, you're not protecting her. You're actually killing her. Yeah. So it's like, you guys, you wrote this. Nitpick. Sure. Whatever. And so, you know, you get the moment where him and her meet, and they're fine. Their chemistry was always okay. It wasn't like my favorite part of the Thor franchise. And to be quite frank, I didn't really care. I don't have anything against Natalie Portman as an actress. I'm just gonna say that. It's not that I hate Natalie Portman as
We
an
loved
actress.
her in V
V for Vendetta,
yeah,
and Black Swan,
and The Professional.
yeah, Black Swan and all that. She's a good actor, but as Thor, she was always serviceable. That's always kind of been the problem with these love interests.
I mean, as Jane.
As Jane.
Yeah,
in the Thor films, she was always serviceable. And that's the problem with the Marvel films for the longest time. The love interests were always serviceable. They were never really anything dynamic. And they still kind of suffer from that to this day. It's either they're just serviceable, or you end up with Ant-Man and the Wasp, where the lady is kind of more competent than the superhero. You know, the Wasp is clearly the smart one. You know, her character is obviously the smarter one. She's the one that knew the technology. She was, you know, blah, blah, blah. And so anyway, so I was never really like, when I found out she was coming back, I was like, she bounced after Thor: The Dark World because she was pissed off that they ditched the director for the second film.
Right.
And she just didn't want anything more to do with the franchise. So she wants to come back for a paycheck. So who cares if she's coming back? Like, big deal. It's like, okay, so we're doing the Jane Foster cancer storyline. Okay, cool. I don't have any connection to it, but now
I want to know from all you guys. Let me know in chat and let us know in the comments. I want to know. Don't be biased. I want you to be honest. I want to know, were you guys that were huge fans of the Jane Foster comic book story and how they developed that character in the comic books? Were you satisfied with what they did with Jane in this movie? I literally want to know if you were satisfied. And to comment on this comment here, what's going on, Reza? How you doing, brother? He goes, well, after she was killed by love in a now Disney franchise, it is fair that she was saved by love in another Disney franchise before getting killed again. So I'm going to jump forward a little bit here, and then we'll still lead up to that. I was surprised they did kill her, but we didn't care at the same time. I think it's bullshit because it's Disney.
Well,
she's coming back.
Okay.
She's coming back.
Here's the deal.
Okay.
In the comic book world, because in the comic book world, nobody can stay dead. In the comic book world, she does die, but she goes to Valhalla, but she ends up getting brought back as a Valkyrie.
Okay.
So there's always
she's coming back.
So
Jane is not dead. At the end
of this movie, she meets Heimdall at the end in Valhalla.
Right. All right. We have a comment here. Eric says Jane's story was not handled well in this movie to me. Okay, there you go.
So now I'm just gonna fuck this. So if you've seen the movie, you know the plot. Whatever. Fuck. Here was one of my biggest problems, and this goes back to the comedy in this movie.
Yeah.
When you've got a movie that is literally clamoring and just running all over itself, trying to make you laugh, literally every other line of dialogue. When you have a villain that starts off with the death of his daughter, and then you have a protagonist who is in the middle of stage 4 cancer and is going to die eventually because she's using this new ability that is helping her fight and helping her protect people and helping her, live longer, but then also killing her at the same time. Those are kind of serious storylines. Those are kind of serious beats, and they're completely undercut by all of the humor that this movie is trying to throw at you.
Yeah.
And I could not get into either of those serious elements. So you've got,
and keep in mind, I'm going to remind everyone those who have not watched our other Out of the Theater video. We love Thor Ragnarok. We're big Taika Waititi fans, but we're not sellouts either.
Yeah.
And again, the comedy level was turned up to 5 in Thor Ragnarok. This movie was turned up to 11, and it was getting on my goddamn nerves. Go ahead.
Right. So you've got Gore's storyline, who he figures out that Thor's his axe.
What?
His axe. His fucking
Stormbreaker. Yeah.
Is what can open up the Bifrost to lead them to this sudden MacGuffin that can make a wish.
The entity.
By the way,
whatever it's called.
If everybody knew this existed, Sif knew this existed, Thor knew this existed, all of the Asgardians knew that this entity
Uh-huh.
that could make a wish, if you go there,
Yeah.
you can make a wish for anything you want.
Right.
That would have been really nice to have used in the Avengers Endgame and Infinity War films.
Well, not just that. What about on the villain side? Well, Thanos, fuck, trying to get all the gems. Just go to let's go to the entity and wish it.
Either or. If we knew,
Yeah.
if we knew that this could happen, if we knew that this thing was out there,
Yeah.
this would have been a nice thing to have gone for. Anyway, so he figures out that Stormbreaker can, blah blah blah. So he goes to new Asgard to get Stormbreaker.
Right.
Well, he can't get a hold of it because they fight him off. So what does he do? He kidnaps all the Chillins and all the baby Asgardians.
Right.
Oh boy. And
Okay.
my nightmare officially begins. And so he takes them to this shadow realm planet.
Right.
And
which I kind of like the look of that.
And waits for Valkyrie and Thor and
bait.
other
They're
Thor
bait.
and other Thor
Yeah.
to come get him.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, we have this running gag where Stormbreaker is jealous because Thor keeps wanting to get Mjolnir back.
Right.
And Stormbreaker keeps getting jealous about it. And okay, fine.
That was the first time that brought a chuckle.
Right.
The first time Stormbreaker's like, "What the fuck, motherfucker?" and comes in. I chuckled at it. But again, going to some of the gags, like you were saying, if they're not ridiculously hilarious the first time, stop reusing it because it just gets tiresome. That is a good example.
So,
and hold on,
okay.
That's a good example. And
yes,
I'm enjoying that more now here than in the goddamn movie.
It's helpful that
go ahead.
It's helpful that we can't hear it.
Go ahead.
So, anyway, so they're going to the planet to get back the kids and all that. And again, we're going now. We have this really heavy scene where Jane eventually admits to Thor, "Hey, I'm sick. I've got cancer," and blah blah blah. And Thor has to come to grips with the fact that she's possibly dying. And then later on in the movie, you find out that if she uses Mjolnir one more time, it's going to kill her. And, all this heavy stuff going on. And I just can't. I can't take it serious. You've got screaming goats. You've got bad kid actors. Again, it still exists.
Unlike the Black Phone.
Right. Because Heimdall's son is in this and he's not that great. He's
I want your honest opinion. How did you feel inside when Heimdall's son's head appeared floating in the movie and he's trying to communicate with Thor's spiritually or whatever the fuck?
Disney.
That's
what I thought. It's Disney.
I something inside me was like curdling. Like I was just like, oh no, what is happening here?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
And then I'll get to my bitches, but go ahead.
So, we've got, again, we're going back to this and we're going back and forth to, Thor finding out that she's sick and she's dying and it's really affecting him. And in another story, in a better, more well-told, more focused plot, I potentially, even though I never gave a shit about Jane Foster, I potentially could have given a shit about this.
Yeah.
I potentially could have cared.
Oh, yeah.
In the same way that in a better film, Gore could have been one of the best MCU villains that we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
But the two don't mix. The tone of this movie, it's literally like putting it's like putting sprinkles on a shit cake. It's just it doesn't make it taste any better.
Yeah.
It's just two totally different things. It just don't go together. And by the time we got to the end, when Jane makes the decision to help Thor because Thor's like, "No, you can't come with me anymore because you're gonna die," and he faces off with Gore, and then we get that god awful fucking ending. And here's where I mean it when I say I'm officially too old for this movie. I'm officially too old for this series for Disney Marvel. Disney has completely taken over the Marvel.
Yeah.
And
this was our fear.
Yeah.
Ever since Disney took over Marvel years ago.
Yeah.
We were like, I hope it doesn't become what we think it's going to eventually become.
And for a while,
and along the way, we did enjoy some movies here and there.
well, we were doing really well because they've had it for a while.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
this is before all the series came out, and
Right.
you know, because Infinity War and Endgame, they were still under the Disney umbrella, so they were still, but we had a better, more serious tone.
Yeah,
we didn't have a finale marred by children. Now, I want to tell you, I want you to keep in mind that these kids have been scared shitless. They've been wetting their fucking pants this whole movie because Gore has been taunting them. He's had them locked up in this cage in the Shadow Realm, and he's been taunting them and scaring the shit out of them.
This is going to hurt.
Yes, yes. And so they've been scared, being like, Thor, are you going to do anything? You're going to fucking save us already? And so by the time Thor actually finds them, he should be like, hey, let me open up the Bifrost and get you the fuck out of here. But because there's like a billion baddies running around, because Gore's got these little phantom, you know, shadow eye, whatever things, you know, that can go after you and kill you, whatever. He tells all of the children to pick up makeshift weapons, and I will temporarily imbue you with the power of my magic, my abilities.
Yeah.
So he gives them his power, and the end finale is marred with little children fighting.
Yes.
Which, I'm sorry, if you find that shit cute, then this movie is for you.
Yeah.
I personally can't stand cutesy shit like that.
If I was a kid, I probably would have liked the scene.
It's possible.
I'm not lying. I'm not gonna lie.
It's possible.
I probably would have liked that scene.
But this clearly was not made for me. This movie was clearly not made for me, despite a lot of the tones being similar to Ragnarok. But Ragnarok didn't have a finale, ruined by 20 little children and having to have close-ups of their war faces. I don't find that cute. I don't find that entertaining.
Yeah.
This movie was clearly not for me, but how was I supposed to know that? Because up until then, we've never had little children ruining Marvel films before.
Yeah.
I should have known better, because the Disney Plus Marvel series, the Disney Marvel Plus series, have been getting ruined by shit like that. Cutesy little shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So shame on me.
Right.
Shame on me. But so again, tonally, this movie was a fucking travesty.
Mm-hmm.
The story was so unfocused that things that should have been really good and hard hitting, or at least, you know, hey, I get what you're doing there.
Right.
Completely ruined. The humor was trash. A friend of mine said this was like a bad SNL sketch.
Yeah.
And
what, you didn't like when Korg had his boyfriend at the end and it was named Dwayne? I was. What about when Korg met up with his god and he sat on the Game of Thrones thing made out of scissors. Get it? It's funny. Okay.
You know, when Korg almost died, when I thought Korg died for a second, I was like, oh, thank fucking God, he's gone.
And then his
fucking head comes back and he ruins the rest of the fucking movie. I'm like, God damn it. God damn it. You had it. You had one good thing going for you and you fucking ruined it.
All right. Can I take over now?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. So now it's my turn for the nitpicks, and a lot of the nitpicks I have, she said already. So again, keep in mind, I'm going to repeat this again one more time. Huge Taika Waititi fans. Really, really enjoyed Thor Ragnarok. It was nice to see something different. I see people, I get the complaints that why people didn't like Thor Ragnarok. I get it. They didn't want to see Thor go comedy. I didn't mind it because it was something different, and the movie was really fun, and you could see shades of Big Trouble in Little China in there. You could see shades of Flash Gordon in there, and it was a fun movie. But you notice Taika Waititi, as far as I know, I might be wrong, hasn't sequeled anything. You notice that? And, you know, for example, we really love Jojo Rabbit. That's a great movie. Can you imagine a sequel to Jojo Rabbit? And I think that's what this movie is. I think Waititi coming in, lending his direction style and his comedic talents for one project at a time works. I think it works. And this was it was overdone. It was like he what is it? He overly Waititi'd.
He went full Waititi.
He went full Waititi.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what it is. You know what I have? I know I have the same vibe for The Kingsman. Same feeling and vibe. The first Kingsman, we absolutely loved it. Came out of nowhere, completely surprised us. We were like, wow, because saw the trailer. Trailer looked like shit. Saw the movie, loved the Kingsman. The director of the Kingsman swore to never sequel his projects. Money talks and bullshit walks. He sequeled the Kingsman, and look at, we got Elton John doing martial arts and wire fu. He overly Vaughn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is my, even though I really loved the beginning, I was having a blast. I was really having so much fun. And the small little glimpses of adventures with the Guardians of the Galaxy were fun, but I was disappointed. I'll be honest. Like at the Avengers Endgame sets up a future adventure with Thor teaming up with Guardians of the Galaxy. I was excited about that prospect, right? How fun that would be. Now I know Guardians of the Galaxy is getting their own movie later. I know this is a Thor movie, but I kind of wanted some kind of at least mini adventure. And we don't get it. We get little montages of them together. And that was kind of disappointing to me. You know, I was really disappointed with that. I was just like, oh, okay, well, then that happened. He might as well not even join the group. I would have thought it would have been cool to have the Guardians of the Galaxy team up with him to fight Gore a little bit. How cool of that? That would have been a lot of fun. But no, they made their appearance and then they're gone. So I'm disappointed with that because I wanted this. Avengers Endgame sets it up and we don't get it. Jane is fine. Jane is fine. She didn't really bother me that much. She's okay. Again, I'm not really invested with her character. Jane as a character or Jane as Thor, she's just kind of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you could take it or leave it. But this is the man right here. This is the motherfucking man. And I loved his look in the movie. You know, like I said earlier, I didn't know what he looked like in the comic books. But the Shadow Realm action sequence I enjoyed for the most part because visually it looked interesting. And we didn't have a whole bunch of kids getting in the way of the fight. So it was solid.
Yeah.
All this stuff right here with Zeus's lightning bolt was solid. It was solid action with some very interesting visuals.
Sumo?
I will give the movie that.
God damn you, Sumo.
Waititi will be directing the Thor 5. This guy. Now I want you to be honest. What do you think of Tessa here as Valkyrie? What do you think of the Valkyrie character?
I'm gonna be really honest about Tessa Thompson.
Okay.
I think she's gorgeous.
Okay.
She's beautiful, but I feel like she just shows up to say lines.
Okay.
And that's it.
And that's it.
I don't think Valkyrie in this movie was really meant to be anything much. I think that was her gig in the last movie.
Right.
You know, you needed to find out who her backstory was.
Mm-hmm.
But she's kind of just there to look pretty and not do much.
Right.
And she doesn't do anything. Like her acting is just, she's always just attitude.
Right.
That's her acting style, is attitude.
I like to see her fight. Even though the fights in the movie with her, as it wasn't like they were mind blowing. Like they said, they were solid action.
Yeah.
But I like her as a fighter more than a character. But I'm gonna be honest. This scene right here, when they say, "Are you packed?" and she pulls out the grenade that Jane thinks is a grenade, and then she starts playing Mary J. Blige, and they start dancing like this. I wanted to fucking kill myself. I was in the theater like,
it's funny.
Have you guys seen one of the greatest over-the-top action movies of all time, Hard Target? Remember throughout that movie, Lance Henriksen would constantly do this. That's how I felt throughout the movie, you know. Oh, it was my God. Play Mary J. Blige. That's how I was feeling throughout the whole movie. Yeah. Let's run this fucking joke into the ground. So anyway, back to my nitpicks.
Yeah.
I did enjoy this scene. Visually, I did enjoy it. At this point, I was kind of checking out when they got to Zeus, when they got to Zeus's lair. I was kind of checking out a little bit. So a lot of people loved Russell Crowe as Zeus. They loved his performance. And a lot of people were like, what the fuck is this garbage, right? What the fuck was he doing?
Mm.
I enjoyed Russell Crowe and his adorable little accent.
Petition to have Russell Crowe play Mario in the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Well, Star-Lord's got that already.
No, fuck it. Petition. Come
No.
on, petitions always work.
Come on. Russell Crowe's Mario. Let's go. Hashtag. I enjoyed him being goofy and kind of having this huge ego. But I think because I was slowly checking out of the movie,
Yeah.
I was grasping at straws.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, give me something. I need something. Because up until this point, like we said earlier out of the theater review, what's wrong?
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with this movie? What's wrong? And at this point, when Zeus came up and he was all dainty, he's all like flexing, and then he goes down the steps and he picks up his little skirt.
Yeah.
And he goes down there all dainty.
Yeah.
I found that to be enjoyable, but I think I'm doing this. I'm trying to find something entertaining. That fight they had on that stage? That reminded me of Flash Gordon. That whole circular looking stage when Flash Gordon fought Timothy Dalton's character. Again, the action there, solid. Nothing amazing, but watchable. Nothing that made me mad. But let's go ahead and get to the finale for me. Again, kind of what she said earlier. Gore. The motherfucking God Butcher. Not familiar with the character. When I heard that was Christian Bale's character name, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This is fucking metal. This is amazing. Gore. The God motherfucking Butcher. Who doesn't butcher any fucking gods in this movie. What the fuck? What are you doing, movie? What are you doing? And I'm sick and tired of this after the math shit. Stop doing this. Moon Knight. He wakes up. Oh, there's a whole bunch of bodies around with blood everywhere, but you didn't see the goddamn fight. Stop doing this. Stop doing this. Earlier in the movie, when you were looking at the screens and there's chaos over here and there's chaos over there, I guess he's doing some god butchering. Would be nice to see the fucking god butchering. It would be nice. You don't fucking see it, man. Because, we don't have time for any god butchering scenes. No badass god butchering scenes. We don't have time for that because we got to make time for this. Okay? Now you can see Samurai Guy's disappointment, right? Right? I want to see this badass fucking black metal looking dude who has the motivation that we can get behind. I want to see him fuck some people up. Oh no, we don't have time for that. And apparently, guess what, guys? I heard there's like 2 more hours of footage out there, and there's tons of extra God the Butcher scenes and Christian Bale scenes out there somewhere. But no, we got to cut that shit to get more butts in the seats for the theater. So fuck you, movie. Seriously, 2 more extra hours out there apparently. What the fuck? So you can understand. Now, can you go in there? I want to see the good guys fight the bad guys, get some chuckles, and then bounce, and I'm good. You can enjoy this movie. A lot of people do. Have you guys noticed the Rotten Tomatoes audience score? Huge.
IMDb score
for this movie.
IMDb rating is in the upper 70s.
Upper 70s?
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes, high 80s%. A lot of people love this movie, and I think that's great. But you have to understand our perspective, and we can agree to disagree. It's fine that you guys love the film. There's nothing wrong with that. We want you guys to enjoy movies. This is a movie channel. This is the point of the channel, is to talk about film. Mm-hmm. But you can understand Samurai Guy getting impatient. And we're spending so much time with fucking goat screaming, Korg cringing, Stormbreaker-in, fucking lovey-dovey shit. All right? floating kid heads. I'm sorry. Where's our fucking villain? For a second, I forgot he was in the goddamn movie. I forgot he was in this movie until he showed up for the third act. And then when he finally showed up, I was like, okay, thank God. Something interesting is happening. But when you have someone with a badass metal name, Thor, Korg, whatever the fuck, the God Butcher, Gore the God Butcher, and you don't see him butcher
Korg the movie butcher.
Korg the movie, was it?
The movie butcher.
Korg the movie butcher. You can understand why I'm kind of annoyed, especially finding out about all this extra Christian Bale footage that got cut. Okay, pissed off. Stop doing that. Okay, stop doing that. So now, you know, I'm gonna do this. There's a lot of haters for Thor Ragnarok. That's fine. I understand it. We love it. It's fine. But I remember scenes. I remember action set pieces. They're memorable. No one's going to forget whether you love the movie or not. You're not going to forget Thor versus the Hulk in a gladiator fight. You're not going to forget Loki teaming up with Thor, throwing knives, gun blazing. You're not going to forget Thor with that badass Led Zeppelin song, doing his lightning attacks, fucking up the army. You're not going to forget Hela killing the Warriors 3 and fucking things up. You're not going to forget Carl Urban slowly jumping out of the fucking ship, slow motion, double rifle gun blazing. You see what I'm talking about? Hulk fighting the wolf, the wolf god. You remember this. There's not one memorable action sequence in this film. And even though I enjoyed the opening action sequence with the Van Damme shout out. It was fun. But other than that, everything else is very standard, average action. So when you have Gore, the God Butcher, versus Thor at the end for the climax, I was like, okay, here we go. God damn it, movie. All right. I'm ready. I'm willing to give you a chance, movie. Let's go. Let's fucking go. All right. Let's do this. Thor's going to fight Gore. It's going to be a fucking epic showdown. Let's go. And I hate to say this. By the time this fight was over, I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but Thor versus fucking Malekith was better. I'm sorry. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I'd rather watch Thor the Dark World than this fucking whatever the fuck this is. Because at least Thor versus Malekith felt like there was weight to it. At least there was creativity in there. They're going through all these portals, fighting as they're falling. No, guess what we had? Every time I was trying to slowly get into their combat, because I liked the way the fight was filmed for the most part. And even when Jane showed up at the end, I was like, okay, the camera work and the fight choreography, it's not bad. I'm trying to get into this. I like the movement of the fight. But like she said earlier, every time I'm getting into the finale fight, I'm trying to get into it. Oh, let's cut to all the kids with the fucking Teddy Ruxpin attacks. Teddy Ruxpin. Ah! Teddy Ruxpin attacks does not mix with this motherfucker. Are you understanding from our perspective why we were disappointed, right?
I would say irritated more at this point.
Well, both.
I think my irritation at this point was way more than my disappointment, because when I saw the trailer, the teaser, the first teaser that I saw, I said, this teaser looks like shit. The teaser was shit for this film.
Yeah.
And the trailer was just like, it looked like, okay. So I wasn't really like, I was dubious going into this.
Mm-hmm.
And I was first willing to give this movie the benefit of the doubt of being, oh, it's a stupid movie, but it's fun. I want you to keep in mind.
I went in for fun. Look at my trailer reactions. I was like, I just want to be entertained.
I want you to keep in mind the level of dumb fun I'm willing to accept. XXX, The Return of Xander Cage.
Garbage.
Rampage. The Rock's Rampage.
Bad.
He's got a gorilla that grows to a giant proportion, and they fight in the city. And the Rampage.
There's a level of good bad that we enjoy.
There's another one I had in the back of my head and I can't remember it now, but
Yeah.
that's the type of garbage, fun garbage
Yeah.
I'm willing to actually put up with. Oh,
Yeah.
Aquaman.
Yeah.
Fun trash.
Yes.
Fun, stupid, fun. I was willing to give this movie the benefit of that doubt.
Yeah.
And
Better
then-
combat in Aquaman.
Yeah.
Better hand-to-hand combat.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah. And I think Thor Dark World is not like the top tier Marvel movies.
No.
But if you have Disney Plus, go back and watch it after you watch this. You may look at it a little differently. Look at the fight choreography and all the action scenes. Look at the action set pieces. It's kind of better than this fucking movie. I'm sorry. That doesn't mean it's a better movie than this. But you know what? No, it is better. Fuck it. I'm saying it right now. I don't give a shit. It's my goddamn channel. Thor Dark World is better than this fucking... Hold on. Thor Dark World is better than this. There, I said it. Is there anything else before we rate this sumbitch?
I think we've kind of gotten into just about everything.
Yeah.
Like I said, for as boring and as vanilla as Thor the Dark World always has been.
One of the worst villains ever.
Vanilla.
Still better fight.
It still had Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
It still had Loki. It still had Thor and Loki together.
Yeah.
Which is always a great combination.
Loki is a saving grace for Dark World.
Right.
I'm telling you.
Right.
Yeah.
There was, you still have at least have that.
Mm-hmm.
And from a storytelling linear point A to point B to point C, beginning, middle, and end perspective, it's at least cohesive. And the tone is very level. The tone all fits together. I'm not saying it's a great film. It's not. Thor the Dark World is not a great film. It's bland. It's vanilla.
Yeah.
It's a very vanilla Marvel film. It's a very Captain America Winter Soldier where
I'd rather watch Iron Man 2.
Winter Soldier.
I'd rather watch Iron Man 2 over this.
Winter Soldier was the movie that really snapped things into place for me.
Yeah.
Where everything was going along, you had your trips and stumbles. Iron Man was great. Iron Man 2 was disappointing for me. Iron Man 3, I can never watch it again. The first Avengers.
I'd rather watch Iron Man 3 over this.
The first Avengers, a lot of fun, but you go back and watch it and it's hard to watch now because it looks like a TV movie. And then you had Thor, which was a good origin story. The first Captain America, really good origin story, but it's very basic. It's very beginning of the saga. And then you have Thor: The Dark World, very vanilla, very bland. And then you have Captain America, which is like, oh, big boy pants. Yeah. That's my awakening. It's like that's where you
Winter Soldier, yeah.
The Winter Soldier is where you really get into like, oh, now we're playing with adult films here. Now we're playing with the this is where we're really getting into it.
It's okay to have stuff for everyone.
Yeah. But we still
there's a limit though.
And that's why when it came to Ragnarok, I didn't mind because Thor was never really known for being super loud and super colorful. But you always had that when you went to Asgard, it was very otherworldly as it should be.
Yeah.
And you never really...
I like the first
At least
Thor.
in the Dark World, you stayed in Asgard a lot more.
Yeah.
The first movie, you were stuck on Earth. You were planted there and you had to stay there. But at least in Thor the Dark World, you actually got to see a lot more of Asgard. You got to see more of the world and all that.
Yes.
And in the
Fuck
third
Earth.
And in the third movie, by Thor Ragnarok, we had seen the Guardians of the Galaxy, and so we had already known that there was
cosmic
all this
universe.
There was always stuff. There was stuff that we could already stomach, and so it was okay to go into this Technicolor mess of worlds that we ended up in. It was okay to have a Jeff Goldblum character.
Yeah.
It was okay to have goofy, zany antics.
Right.
Because why you had Thor and Loki and the Hulk together, we already know their history. They have great chemistry together. They have great banter together.
It was almost like a buddy cop movie.
But if you go back to Thor Ragnarok from a structural standpoint, that movie from point A to point B to point C is cohesive. The tone is cohesive.
Yes.
The movie does not take a back seat to the constantly trying to smack jokes in your face.
Yes.
And it at least tries to tell a story. There was a great scene at the beginning before Hela shows up. There's this quiet scene on the cliffs of where they're I forget where they're at, but they're in the cliffs overlooking an ocean where Loki and Thor have to meet Odin right before he dies. And Odin kind of has this great conversation. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry I had to keep this story from you. It's like, Loki, you're still my son. Loki and Thor kind of have to look at each other like, oh shit, it's dad, he's dying. We're brothers. We've had this really shitty history, but we're still brothers. You get nothing like that. They try They kind of try with Jane and Thor when you find out that she's dying.
Mhm.
But at that point, the tonal inconsistencies throughout the film have taken away any emotional weight that the movie tries to throw at you later.
Right.
So you can't take it in. I couldn't take it in.
Mhm.
So it's almost like it tries to be Thor Ragnarok, but at the same time, it can't shoulder the weight of all the humor that
Right.
it's trying to throw at you.
Right.
And it just didn't work for me. Again, the theater that we were at, it was a small crowd because we
We went early.
we went at a 10 a.m. showing, and very, very small crowd. My mom was there. She pretty much enjoyed it. My stepmom was there. She enjoyed it. The crowd loved it. And they
clapped?
applauded.
Yeah.
They applauded at the
It's
end.
a crowd pleasing movie.
It is.
I understand why the crowd enjoyed themselves.
Yeah. And so it's like, okay.
Good guys fight bad guys.
Yeah.
Funny goats, comedy. We're good.
Okay,
That's it.
And that's fine.
It's fine.
But it just didn't work for me. I
Right.
guess that's the bottom line. It was Technicolor vomit to the extreme, which I could have handled if the story was there.
Right.
If the foundation wasn't cracked beyond repair, which this movie had no solid foundation to speak of. And I just couldn't get into any of it. So,
and even the first Thor gets a bad rap. Like I was saying earlier, the first Thor is enjoyable. Do you know how hard it is to make a movie, a mainstream movie, and convince the audience that they're watching gods on screen?
Yeah.
You know how hard that is?
Yeah.
And I remember when I saw the early trailers for the first Thor movie, I was like, ugh. Like I was like, I don't know
That's a
about
hard
this.
sell. Yeah.
It's an entertaining flick. Had the origins of Loki in there, and I love the story of a superhero where his ego is run amok to the point where Odin had to put him in his place and took his armor away, took his ability to pick a Mjolnir away, and casted his ass to Earth, and he had to earn his way back. Already, this is a better story than whatever the fuck this movie is. Already. All right, you ready?
You want to talk about Lady Sif's butchering?
Oh God, I forgot all about Lady Sif. Am I the only one that's been Team Lady Sif since fucking the first movie? Thor Dark World, she's fucking badass in that. And if you've watched Thor Dark World again, even Odin was like, look, man, fuck Jane. Look what's right in front of you, you idiot. Anyway, I know it's all about Jane. I was Team Sif. Always been Team Sif, right? Look, she's fucking badass. She's got some fucking cool weapons and combat skills. I think Sif has just been replaced by Valkyrie. I think it was just like, well, we can't have too many badass women on screen on screen.
But it's Disney. Yes,
I know.
can.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
Where's the Lady Thor, Sif, and Valkyrie movie?
Well, there's not going to be any more Sif because she got her fucking arm cut off as a joke. Sif's arm got cut off as a joke, and that was it. That was her scene. Bye. Thanks for playing.
Maybe your arm is in Valhalla.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Can we watch The Boys? Can we watch The Boys and Umbrella Academy for fuck's sake? Anyway,
hey, we still have more episodes of Umbrella Academy.
Thank God. Anyway, all right. Let's get, before we rate this sumbitch, let's get to the end credit scenes.
Well, the ending again.
One of them I didn't care because you said Jane is in Valhalla.
Yeah.
I didn't really give a shit.
Yeah.
The other one piqued my interest because the whole time I'm like, I thought Zeus was dead before we got the extra scene. So I was like, where the fuck is Hercules? Like, that was like the whole time I'm like, yo, where's Hercules, man? Hercules showing him, yeah, you fucked up my dad. I'm coming after you. I was waiting for that. So that scene in the end credits piqued my interest. I don't know who the guy is. I didn't look at him again. But that piqued my interest, but it kind of died after that.
So we didn't talk about the stupid ending of the film. So they make it to the entity, the thing that's going to grant the wish of the person that gets there, which everyone's assuming that Bale's wish is, or Gore's wish,
kill all the gods.
Wish all of the gods death.
Right.
And so they get there. And Jane is there, and she's lost all of her power. Thor is there, and he sees Jane dying, and he's like, well, shit, I've lost everything. I've kind of given up. And he tells Gore, look, you've won, but you got this thing here. You can wish your dead daughter back into existence. And because this is a Disney Marvel movie trying to tug at your heartstrings and they can't keep a child dead,
I didn't buy it.
he
I didn't buy it.
he's like, oh yeah, I can. And all of a sudden, Gore's dying.
Yeah, because
He's dying. I
Yeah.
guess I missed it.
maybe he got too fucked up.
Maybe
in the
the
fight.
infection has
Sure,
spread
fine,
suddenly, and he's
fine,
dead. He's dying.
fine.
Jane's dying. So Thor is cradling dying Jane in his arms, and Gore is now being kind of like, he's like dying on the ground, and his daughter comes back into existence, and he's like, I don't want her to be alone, my love.
Protect her.
And Jane's like, she's not going to be alone. And she looks up at Thor. Take care of a baby for me, would you? Take care of this kid for me, huh? I'm going to be dead, but hey, you got a kid now. That makes everything okay, right? And Thor's like, I'd rather have the nookie, but okay, I guess caring for a kid is just as good as sex. And so Jane dies and floats away.
We don't care.
I guess she was a god for a minute. So she floats away. She floats away like she's a god.
Yeah, Jane goes to Valhalla, but you know, whatever. Fuck Sif.
Sif's arm just goes.
I guess Sif's arm's in Valhalla.
And then Gore just dies. And so Thor and the little girl look at each other in this moment of, oh, I guess we're stuck with each other now.
Hold on. Right when this was going on in the movie, we saw this with her, her mother. When the daughter came back to life and Gore died, her mom said, what the fuck is happening? Like,
she said, this doesn't make any sense.
She said, this doesn't make any sense.
So yes, my mom enjoyed it, but
yeah, she had fun.
She had a moment at the end where she was like, what?
Yeah. Wait, okay, go ahead. Go get to the love and thunder.
So yeah. So the movie ends with Thor now being a dad to this little thing that has powers now.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why she has powers. I guess because
What?
Why does she have powers?
She's born from the I don't care.
Because she was born from a wish, and now that gives her powers.
Whatever.
Doesn't explain it. And so and so now she's got the powers, and now Thor's raising her, and he's raising her to be a Viking warrior.
Oh, I like this. Disney era Marvel. Here we go. It's confirmed here by Zuko. Winter Soldier and Sif arm jokes coming soon. All right, go ahead. And Sif's arm is mint.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's supposed
she was created from eternity, Will says. Fine, whatever.
And that gives her power.
Whatever. All right, are you done here? Are we done? Anything else before we get, please?
What absolutely blew my mind about this film was it was written by Waititi and another lady.
Yes.
Now this lady has only like 4 other writing credits to her name prior to this movie. One was a canceled TV show on MTV. One was a movie that went straight to Netflix. And the other was a film that was, I don't know if it was like, limited run. I think it's on HBO or Hulu. I don't know, in the States. And she was a producer on Hawkeye. And that's all you need to know.
That's it.
And
that's it.
She's working on stuff now, but it's nothing big. Mm-hmm. It's all small scale stuff. I want to know how this lady got this job to write this film. I want to know. I want to know.
Interesting.
I just want to know. It's the writers, there were 3 writers for Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm. And Taika Waititi was not one of them.
Right. And this movie, I don't know how this movie passed script. I don't know how they started filming from the script that they had.
It's called Taika Waititi Has Not Failed. Taika Waititi's amazing. Thor Ragnarok was a huge hit. So who gives a shit? That's what it's called. Apparently Gravy gives a shit. That's what it is. It doesn't matter. Do you guys remember it was
Captain Marvel made $1 billion, so that means it was a good movie, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Do you guys remember this was like late 90s, the early 2000s, and there in some movie theaters would play this advertisement. I don't know if I think it was a soda commercial. I don't know if it was Sprite. I don't know if you guys remember this, showing my age. But in the commercial before the movie started, the writers go to the producers and they're like, "Oh, we have these cool ideas for a new movie." They create characters in the music video. They're like dancing like this in the music video. They make toys. They made all this, and then they were like, "Oh, we're all ready to go. So what's the story?" It doesn't matter. There you go. All right, let's end this.
Ugh.
End this because I'm changing my rating. I had a rating going in. After talking about this shit, it's dropped. All right, ready?
Oh my.
Go ahead.
Okay.
What do you give? C is average on our channel. What are you giving Thor? Love and Blunder.
I never thought I would see the day where I would hate a Taika Waititi film so much.
Yeah.
And I never thought I would see the day where I would give this low of a rating for a Marvel film that wasn't Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't enjoy this. I'm going D.
We're not buying this. We're not going to buy this movie. We have every single Marvel movie on Blu-ray except Captain Marvel. From Phase 4,
we don't have Spider-Man yet.
Yeah, we don't have Spider-Man yet. Eternals, probably not going to buy that either. I want to take back my review for that. I rated that too high at the time. But what we're trying to say is, as much as we love the MCU and we're huge Marvel fans, not gonna enjoy every single product. Not gonna buy everything. I don't see us buying this unless we, give you our post office address and the fans want to send us stuff.
No.
But other than that,
No.
anyway.
No.
So this was my original rating, guys. I guess the samurai guy this movie had. That was my original rating. After talking about it now and getting it off my chest, you gave it a D.
Mm-hmm.
I know the movie hurt you.
Oh.
I know the movie hurt you.
Oh.
We're gonna be there in a minute. I'm going D. Fuck it. Fuck this movie.
Wow.
I'm going D. Fuck it.
Wow.
Fuck it. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't care. So, all of you badasses, thanks again for hanging out with us tonight. And let us know in the comments below and in chat. We really want to know, seriously, what you honestly thought of the movie. You really enjoyed it. It was fun. Or you're like us. You're just like, fuck this movie. So you do realize that I have rated this movie lower than Jurassic World Dominion. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. You know what? Actually, you know what? I think I'm getting a little bit of I'm getting a change of heart.
Somebody just asked us an interesting question.
Oh, okay.
Do y'all prefer actual scores or soundtracks like this, like the movies? I preferred, like, when it came to Thor Ragnarok, I thought Immigrant Song was perfect choice for that movie.
It fit. It was awesome.
They used it twice as bookends.
Yeah.
And it worked very well. Now I am biased. I do not like Guns N' Roses as a group. I like 2.5 songs of theirs, and that's about it.
Right.
But as a group, I don't really dig them at all. And so having to listen to a lot of their music throughout the film, I think certain movies, when you have a score with actual, like, contemporary music plays throughout, it can work.
Yeah, it can
depending
work
on the film.
Mm-hmm.
But some movies, they use it as a crutch for not having any idea of what their score wants to sound like.
Yeah.
If the score is good, I prefer an actual score. But Marvel is not known for its dynamic scoring.
Right.
So honestly, in this movie's case, it really didn't matter.
It didn't.
You could have had the best. I think it's like Giacchino did the music for this, and you would not have noticed it at all.
That guy's usually really good.
And which was really strange, also because Mark Mothersbaugh did Thor Ragnarok, and I kind of thought they were having a little thing going because Taika Waititi is involved in the TV show Our Flag Means Death, and Mark Mothersbaugh did the score to that.
Right.
So I kind of thought that they were having like a little collaboration thing going on, but for whatever reason, maybe he's busy. Yeah, I think Giacchino did the score, but again, you would never know it listening to it.
Right.
And so typically I prefer a good score.
No, I like Guns N' Roses, but we didn't need to hear fucking "Sweet Child of Mine" twice. That's fucking overkill.
What they did it because Ragnarok did Immigrant Song twice. That's why they
Immigrant Song's better than "Sweet Child of Mine." Okay. anyway, and then you fucking waste Dio in the fucking end credits. Rainbow in the Dark in the end credits. Fuck you, movie. That could have replaced. That could have been in the goddamn movie somewhere and replaced the second play of Sweet Child of whatever the fuck. Anyway, you know what? Actually, you know what? Let me calm down here. I'm gonna calm down. And you know what? You know what? I think I'm slowly getting a change of heart. I'm getting a change of heart, I think. You know, now that I got it out of my system, I'm looking back on all of this now. I think it's time to sell out. What do you think? You think it's time to sell out?
Will it get us more money and subscribers?
Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know what? I think we're going to sell out, guys.
Oh.
I think we're going to sell out. I have a change of heart now.
Mm.
You know what? Fuck our own opinion.
Oh.
Fuck us being human beings and actually having our own opinion that differs from other people.
Sure, he needs an opinion of our own.
Right? Let's sell out. Let's do this. Fist bump. Let's sell out and let's love every single thing Marvel does and Disney does. Let's do it.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. We're changing all our reviews right now. Thor, Love and Thunder, A+. Captain Marvel, A+. Moon Knight, A+. All right, guys. We love you. We love you. Thanks again for hanging out with us and hearing us rant and talk movies. Agree to disagree. We still love you guys. Take care. And we'll see you guys on the next one. We may or may not stream tomorrow, too, to talk more films. All right, guys. Take care. We love you. And we'll see you again soon. Take care, guys.